Picture this. You're in a meeting with a parent, an advocate, the director of special education, the school psychologist, and the special ed teacher at your site. You're being told you have to do this accommodation and that accommodation, which you're fine with, but no one has even asked what your thoughts are. Do you have a right to speak up? What are your legal responsibilities? What kind of support are you going to get? Today we're going to talk about that and more. I'm Karen Taylor from CTA's IPD department, and today we are talking about IEP rights and responsibilities. So the first thing we need to talk about is the law. Special education law is written around a student-centered lens. That means that all statute and regulations protect students and parents. So how does this help the educator? Well, when we look at special ed through a student-centered lens, we just need to phrase our wants and needs differently and also take what's best for the student into consideration. The classroom teacher can be a student and parent's biggest ally when it comes to making sure districts follow the law. Not only are you integral to this process, but you have a right to be involved. So we don't have a lot of time to cover the Individual with Disabilities Education Act, but what you do need to know is that students have a right to be educated with other children who are not disabled to the greatest extent possible. Think about it. Is it equitable to have educational settings that are separate as long as they're equal? Of course not. Students with disabilities also have a right to be educated as much as possible in the same setting as everyone else. So, let's talk about IEPs and your role. Students who qualify for an IEP, or Individual Education Plan, must have goals written to show how they will make progress towards meeting certain criteria. The goal of the IEP is to give students the supports necessary to improve educational results. The IEP is a legal document and must be followed. Every decision that's made should be made as a team. Districts cannot be the sole decision makers, nor can parents or teachers. The IEP says what the child's needs are, the services children will receive, and how progress will be measured. So local education agencies are ultimately responsible for making sure that students make progress annually towards their IEP goals. How does the general education teacher participate? Well, the federal and state law says this. The general education teacher, to the extent appropriate, shall participate in the development, review, and revision of the IEP, assisting in the determination of appropriate positive behavioral interventions and supports, and other strategies for the pupil, determination of supplementary aids and services, program modifications, and supports for school personnel. This means that as the general education teacher, you not only have a right to participate in an IEP meeting, but to the greatest extent appropriate, you help make the decisions for behavioral interventions, academic strategies, determining what supports the student needs, and something most people don't realize, you are also responsible for helping to determine what supports school personnel need in order to help a student successfully meet their IEP goals.
I'm sorry, what?
That wasn't an error. The IEP team determines what type of services the student needs from an expert to help meet their goals. California Ed Code 56345A4 says that the team makes that determination. Think about it. Your job is to help the student meet their goals. The law provides for a free and appropriate public education, and when a student has an IEP, the school district must pay for those services and support. The law does not assume that teachers have everything they need to help with this. That's why within the IEP, the team can write in trainings, additional personnel supports, etc., to help school personnel help the child meet their IEP goals. This also means that paraprofessionals could get specialized training if the team thought it would benefit the child. Now, will your district be happy about this? Probably not. This means extra money for training and hours, but this is not about the district. This is about the child. If your district at any time refuses to insert services into an IEP because of, quote, too much cost, they could potentially be violating special ed law. So let's talk about one more thing before you go. Do you need to attend the IEP meeting as a general education teacher? All signs point to more than likely. In the case of students with more than one teacher providing instructional services, then one gen ed teacher may be designated by the local educational agency to represent the others. Parent and district can also agree in writing that an IEP team member does not need to attend if the member's area of the curriculum or related services is not being modified or discussed in the meeting. In addition, even in case of changes, the parent and district may still agree in writing after conferring with the member that the member does not need to attend. However, the law isn't very specific about this. What it does say, though, is that if the member does not attend the meeting, they must submit written input into the development of the IEP to the IEP team before the meeting. The law isn't clear either about the form, the time needed in advance, or anything else like that. That part is left up to the LEA. Ultimately, though, if you have a child with an IEP in your classroom, you should attend the meeting as much as you're able to. For more information on IEP rights and responsibilities, check out the handouts that came with this video. If you didn't get them, a link will be provided at the end for you to download them yourself. This is Karen Taylor from the California Teachers Association Instruction and Professional Development Department in Region 4. I appreciate you taking the time to watch and want to thank you for all that you do for our students. Take care.